Hi everyone, it's Daisy here. Welcome to today's video. We are talking about Take-A-Note planners today, and this video is going to be taking a look at every Take-A-Note planner layout. This is not including their record series, which was new in the past few years. We're going to be looking at their A5, B6, and their A6 planners, and flipping through each one to see how each layout compares to the rest. So if you don't know much about Take-A-Note, I'll give you a little information about these planners, which happen to be one of my personal favorite planners here at Yoseka that we offer. Take-A-Note is a Taiwanese planner company that actually started with their very first Take-A-Note planner in 2015. So this coming year marks the 10th anniversary of Take-A-Note planners, which is a huge deal. So happy 10th birthday to Take-A-Note planners. It's a planner that I really love, as I've mentioned before, and I've personally been using one of these planners this past year and truly very much enjoying it. So I hope that if you're new to Take-A-Note, you might find out a little bit more about Take-A-Note in this video. So something else interesting about Take-A-Note is that after its first planner was released in 2015, it went on to win the Good Design Awards in 2017, which is a Japanese design award awarded to lots of different stationery products as well as just products in general. And they select their recipients, their award recipients, based on good design. So this product won because of that. So it was a very big accolade in the world of Taiwanese stationery for a Taiwanese stationery company to be winning a Japanese award in this way, and that is what Take-A-Note is kind of famous for, and that's what launched it into its greater success in the following years. So after 2017 is when really users began to pick up a lot for Take-A-Note, and some primary features that Take-A-Note planners are known for is that they come with a 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. So it's a very fountain pen friendly paper. It's the same paper that's used in Hobonichi planners, but Hobonichi planners use the thinner versions, which give their planners like a little bit of an edge up in terms of their ability to be really lightweight. Take-A-Note planners are not daily planners, so they're not trying to squeeze 365 pages into these planners, which gives them the luxury of being able to use the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, which has all of the fountain pen friendly qualities in it, while also keeping your paper a little bit thicker. I know some people really don't like being able to see writing on the other side of the page when you flip over the page. So this 68 GSM Tomoe River paper really helps to kind of reduce what we call ghosting, which is when you see the writing on the other side of the paper. So that's one of the main features of the Take-A-Note planners, is that they do use the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. And another big feature is that you'll see as we flip through that these planners are not necessarily weekly planners, not all of them at least, but they employ this sort of like vertical column for every day. So it's a very vertical layout, which you'll see as we take a flip through the different layouts. So let's go ahead and look at some of these Take-A-Note planners. Here in front of me, I have the A6 version, the slightly larger B6 version, which is my personal planner that I've been using for work this year. And then this one is the A5 version. The A5 version, I will say, I'll start with this one, and these are from previous years. The A5 version is where it started, so it is Take-A-Note's claim to fame, is the A5 version. This is what the Good Design Award was awarded for, is the A5 version. And the formats of the A5 version inside are actually the exact same format as the A6 version, so we can kind of look at them together. But let's take a little bit of a flip just to see. Okay, so this is looking at the January page. And as you can see, this Take-A-Note A5 comes with this sort of very unique format of having 2 days per page. So the week is distributed into 4 pages, as you just saw. So this is 1 week, right? So we have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And on the very first page of each week, you do get, this is sort of like a weekly overview little section of horizontal sections for each day of the week. So you can kind of see your week at large over here, and then every day of the week gets this vertical half-page format. So that is essentially what the main layout of the Take a Note planner is for. It has as well this timeline going down the page for every single day, and it starts from, so it's the times of the day, 0 to 24 hours of the day, and then it gives you 3 hours into the next day too if you're up really late one night for some reason, and you don't end up going to sleep at like your normal time. So that is essentially the layout of the Take a Note. It is this sort of very unique concept of having 2 days per page. So you have the week spread out onto 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Of course, these planners also come with like a monthly section in the beginning, and they also have like the year at a glance, a little Gantt chart for you to do other tracking and more tracking pages. This is the bulk of the planner. And then in the back, there are some blank pages for you to take notes on as well. So the A5 layout and the A6 layout, the A6 is obviously a much smaller book. I'll flip to the exact same week so you guys can see. The A5 and the A6 layouts are actually identical. So these are, oh, I'm sorry. They look a little bit different just because this is 2024 and this is 23. So it's not the exact same dates, but here we are. So it's 2 days per page, just like it was in the A5 in the A6. And you have the same weekly overview going down Monday to Sunday on the very first part of the week. And the whole week is spread out into 4 pages. The one thing that is a little bit different, obviously the grids are smaller in the A6 compared to the A5 because you're trying to compress everything into a much smaller page. And then another thing that's different is the actual timeline. So you can see here the timeline on the left-hand side of each of these days is going to be restricted to 0 to 24. You don't get that extra 1, 2, 3, which you got on the larger A5, which really might not be a problem for many of us. I know I certainly wouldn't really use the 3 a.m. marker. I wouldn't use the 3 a.m. marker personally. No judgment to anybody who is up at 3 a.m. I just personally could not do it. So I wouldn't really miss the 3 a.m. marker at all on these A6 pages. So you can see that the A5 and the A6 have the exact same layout of having 2 days per page and having the week spread out into 4 pages. Let's take a look at the B6 size. So the B6 is in between the A5 and the A6. This is the A6, this is the B6, and then this is the A5. So you can see the B6 is sort of an in-between size. All of these planners are also available with these clear covers, which I'm personally using on my B6, and I've been a big fan of. So here is a week layout in the B6. So this is sort of a more traditional weekly planner in that you spread the pages open and you just see the whole week laid out before you. And I think this is a great layout for work, by the way, because we do tend to think of our work weeks like organized in a weekly breakdown, or at least I personally do. So it preserves the same sort of layout in that it's a very vertical layout for each day. So if you like your layout to be sort of like thin and narrow versus like block-like, then this, all of these planners would be pretty good for you. But the thing that's different is that with the A5 and the A6, you're looking at 2 days per page versus in the medium weeks, B6, you are looking at the whole week in 2 pages. So it's 2 pages per week, as opposed to 2 days per page. But here is a little bit of a side-by-side where I hope you guys can see the difference between all of these different planners. So the A5 and the A6 are really identical. They're the same layout. And then the B6 is going to be different in that it is a proper week spread out onto 2 pages. And there is no timeline going down each vertical block for the medium weeks. it is more of just these divisions. So you can really use these however you'd like. Personally, in the beginning of the year, I was breaking my day into 3 parts. So like the morning around like midday, and then in the afternoon to evening. But what I realized is that for work, I really think of my work day as like before lunch and after lunch. So what I ended up doing was just writing my daily goals up here on this top section, and then using these 2 bottom sections for AM and PM, or like pre-lunch and post-lunch. And that's what's been working quite well for me. They also have this link section, which you can use as a continuation of your day. But what I've been doing is just using it for notes. Like I use it for when I do catching up. I use it for just like scribbling little things, for leaving bits of washi tape. So I use it more as a note section. And of course, the weeks also has some other layouts in the beginning, as all planners do, for tracking, for monthly planning, and such. And yeah, the main purpose of this video is just for you guys to see side by side all of these different layouts and how they're different. So I do hope that having this view helps you choose between the different Take a Note planners. One last thing that I did want to show you all for this video is a little pen test that I did. A lot of the times people ask us how different pens fare on the different paper, and I was talking earlier about how the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper really is much better for ghosting. So if you're not a fan of ghosting, you don't want to see your writing on the other side of the page, like you just don't want to see it, the 68 GSM might be the one for you. So here's the pen test I did. You can see I used ballpoint pen, gel pen, fountain pen, and marker. The ballpoint pen I used is this one here. It's the Pilot Acro in 0.5. The gel pen that I used is the Uniball 1. This is also 0.5. The fountain pen that I used is a Kaweco Sport in a medium nib, so it's not even like an extra fine or a fine. It's a pretty juicy nib. And then the marker that I use is just this Mark Plus, pretty standard water-based marker. So let's take a look at the other side. Let's flip the page over to the other side. And you can see that there is very little show through on the other side. You can see it faintly, of course, but it's nowhere near the sheerness and the show through that you would see when you're writing in a Hobonichi paper, or if you're using that thinner Tomoe River paper. So hopefully this pen test helped. And I know I'm gonna get some questions about stamps. So this is a stamp test that I did. I just have this randomly in my notebook, but I thought it would be good to show that for stamps, and this is like a pretty faintly inked stamp, it's not a very inky stamp. For stamps, you definitely do get a little bit of bleed through. I could see even like these are some stamps. This was like a Stationery Fest stamp that I was trying to figure out how to use, but you can see there's a little bit of bleed through where it is very inky, and that seems to be, you know, a common complaint of stamp ink on Tomoe River paper. And you can see that even the 68 GSM is not completely bleed through proof for ink pads. Hopefully this video helped you get a better sense of Take a Note planners. I just wanted to go over the layouts really quickly because I did get quite a few questions from lots of people saying, like, what are the difference between all of these layouts for Take a Note? And you can see the A5 and the A6 are really identical. You get 2 days per page. And so it's just a matter of choosing between the larger A5 size and the smaller A6 size. And then the medium weeks is where it's really more different, and it's more of a standard weekly vertical format, and you get the whole week laid out for you on the 2 pages of the planner. I think that's about it for this video. I do hope this video helped clear up some questions about Take a Note. It's a great planner system. It's from Taiwan, which I love. The paper is great. It doesn't feather and it doesn't ghost as much as the thinner Tomoe River paper would. And yeah, I hope you love this planner as much as I do. If you've chosen it for 2025, let us know in the comments, or let us know if you have any other questions in the comments. And thanks for watching. Bye.